All right. To the Georgia Tech basketball team, they've heard me speak so much that I've got to figure out what I can say tonight that they hadn't already heard me say. Oh, wow. To say I'm humble really doesn't express what it means to be here tonight. And I'm sure I speak for all the other honorees in thanking Georgia Tech basketball, women's basketball, and the Booster Club for having us and honoring us tonight. But you know, it's all about women, and no matter what age you are, no matter how much you have achieved, we all can help and learn from each other. And I think that's the most important thing we can do, is be supportive of each other, create a great network, and help all of us achieve the goals we want to achieve. I have a story to tell. I promise I won't talk long. But so many people ask me, why did I buy the dream? I want to tell you about who influenced me on buying the dream. It started probably 2 years ago, and I was sitting on the AT Fund Board of Advisors at Georgia Tech, and Michelle Joseph came in to talk to us. Oh, happy birthday! And, you know, my late husband and I had always been a big supporter of Georgia Tech, and I have always been a huge supporter of women and role modeling. And she started talking about a golf tournament and supporting the women's basketball team. And, you know, it was like a light went off in my head, and it was like, yeah, I cheer for them, I'm for them, but I need to step out and do more. So Michelle was the first one that got me started on women's basketball and being more than just a fan. And then when my husband died, I had to figure out what I was going to do, because there's no guarantees in life. And then it was really interesting what happened next, and it includes so many of the people that have been honored by this group. I will say it started with one of the first ones of tonight. Where are you, Stacy? I want y'all to know, Stacy was one of the first ones that got to me and really explained to me what the dream was all about. She was one of the first ones that brought the dream to Atlanta. And when I went to lunch with her and Laura Hodges, who is another honoree that is a Georgia Tech person, I went to lunch with them, and they truly inspired me. 2 women inspiring another woman, because they explained to me that the dream was not just about basketball or just about competition, which I love, but it was also a lot more. It was about giving back to the community. It was about young girls having role models. And you know, one day, every girl that steps out on any court with any ball could dream about being a professional player. And you know, in my heart, immediately, I knew that this was what I had to do. So here came the heart was there. But then I had to go with the logic side and the head side. And so some more women started to inspire me. In fact, it happened to be, okay, I hate to keep mentioning you, but I went to dinner one night with Michelle and Teresa and LaChina. And at that time, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do this. And Teresa, another recipient tonight and honoree, I was sitting there and I said, you know, the economy is bad, the time is bad, you know, gosh, what do I do? It's really such a huge risk to go out and buy a basketball team. You know, my heart's there, but I can't get there. And Teresa looked at me and she said, you know what, Kathy? You can either have fear or faith. And I said, I have never lived my life without faith. And so that was yet another very inspirational point in me buying the Atlanta Dream. So then, it doesn't stop there. As we got into all of this, all the connections between Georgia Tech, supporters, and let me tell you, I had a lot of people come up to me and say, don't do it. Don't do it. This is not the right season, right time. It's not the right investment. But my heart was always there. And I think as women support women, we understand that there's a bigger decision than just logic or just your head. It's all about your passion and your love and your support. And believe me, we're going to make a difference in Atlanta. We're going to make a difference not only on the basketball court, but in the community. And we're going to work with every little girl so that she can dream to be a professional basketball player. Sorry, it's way past my bedtime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. Well, I'll tell you, the other thing I thought about when I first met Kathy Betty was, goodness, I know this vibe somewhere. The intensity, the determination, and I thought about it, I said, she reminds me of my boss. Very much like Michelle Joseph. So without further ado, the first coach in Georgia Tech women's basketball history to reach back-to-back-to-back NCAA tournaments and 20-plus win seasons, head coach Michelle Joseph.
First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here tonight, and I also just want to recognize all the honorees. All of you that are here, you don't know what an inspiration you are to our players. I mean, one of the things that I promised these kids when they came to Georgia Tech, I promised them nothing other than an opportunity for a great degree, and a degree from one of the top 10 schools in the country academically. And every single one of them that have gone through here, they know that. There's not a player on my team that I've talked about playing time, a starting position, anything. I told them, you'll work for everything you get. The only thing I'm going to promise you is that I'll do everything in my power to make sure you get a great degree. And, you know, a player, we had an alumni night the other night after the Clemson game, and one of our former players, Jessica Williams, came in, and she's 25 years old. I said, Jessica, what are you doing now? And, well, I'm in charge of air traffic control. I'm part of the air traffic control crew at Atlanta in the airport, and I make $120,000. And I said, we're doing something right here with these young women to be 25 years old and make that kind of money. And that's what a Georgia Tech degree will do for you. And, you know, we try to compete. We want to win on the court, but more importantly, it's important to me that we win off the court. And you guys being here tonight is just such a tremendous inspiration to these young women. You have no idea, because you're telling them that the sky's the limit. And I've always told all of them, don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. Go out and prove them wrong. And that's one of the things that all of you, the success that you've had has done, is you prove that women can't be stopped. If you put your mind to something, the sky's the limit. You can do anything you want to do. And LaTrina, she's being humble, but LaTrina started this program 6 years ago. And I want to tell you just a little story, and I know everybody's trying to get out of here, but I just have to share this with you, that China came to work with me when she was about 24 years old and fresh out of college, and she went right from the administrative assistant right to the top with our program, being in charge of director of basketball ops, and she started this Women Out Front program in her first year. And the thing about LaChina is about 3 years ago, she decided, I want to be a color commentator. Well, it's a little late, you know, she's 27, you know, it's a little late to be thinking about that, but you know what? She went and did it. And she was on ESPN this year for the first time, and when I saw her up there, I was like, that's special, because she didn't let people tell her what she couldn't do. Because when she first had that dream of doing it, people were telling her, you know, it's too late, you don't have the contacts, you can't do this, and you're director of basketball ops, but China didn't take no for an answer. And when I saw her doing the Rutgers Baylor game, or the Tennessee Rutgers game, and the Baylor game against Boston College, I couldn't have been prouder. I felt like a proud parent. I was standing there like, she did it. You know, she said, this is what I'm going to do, and I did it. And that's what you all did. And I just appreciate you all being here so much.